Have you ever felt weighed down by the presence of negative or toxic people in your life? Many of us have experienced this, yet it's one of the most challenging things to navigate. This story provides a powerful example of how to face toxic influences and cultivate inner peace, borrowing insights from Buddhist wisdom. Today, I'll not only share this story but also offer a fresh perspective and practical methods to help you stay grounded and resilient in the face of negativity. Once upon a time, in a small, tranquil village beside a winding river, there lived a kind-hearted young man named Daniel. Like many young people, Daniel was full of ambition, optimism, and dreams of achieving something meaningful in his life. His heart was open, trusting, and generous, traits that made him well-liked by some but vulnerable to others. Unfortunately, Daniel's circle wasn't as supportive as he had hoped. Among his friends, neighbors, and even some family members were those who didn't share his optimism or desire for growth. Instead of lifting him up, they often belittled his dreams, mocked his efforts, and in subtle ways tried to hold him back. Initially, Daniel tried to shrug off the negativity. He told himself that he didn't need their approval, but over time their words began to sink in. Each dismissive comment, every discouraging remark, started chipping away at his self-confidence. He found himself doubting his abilities and wondering if perhaps they were right about him. The more he tried to focus on his dreams, the more their negativity seemed to follow him, like a cloud he couldn't shake. Many of us have been in Daniel's shoes at some point, where the people around us, instead of encouraging us, seem intent on holding us back. This subtle but persistent negativity can weigh heavily on even the strongest of hearts. For Daniel, it was becoming clear that to move forward, he needed guidance on how to handle these toxic influences. It was this realization that led him on a journey to seek wisdom from a renowned Buddhist monk, known for his insight on overcoming life's obstacles. After enduring months of subtle jabs, dismissive remarks, and mounting self-doubt, Daniel realized he couldn't keep going on this path alone. His dreams felt distant, and the weight of negativity from those around him was growing heavier. He knew he needed clarity and direction if he was to regain his confidence. One evening, a close friend mentioned a wise Buddhist monk who was known for helping people navigate life's hardships with peace and wisdom. This monk lived high in the mountains in a secluded monastery where he provided guidance to those seeking inner peace and strength. Determined to seek a new perspective, Daniel made the long journey to the monastery. The trip itself was difficult, winding roads, steep hills, and countless steps leading up to the sanctuary. But for Daniel, this journey represented his commitment to changing his life. When he finally arrived, he felt a deep sense of calm as he observed the peaceful surroundings and the monk's quiet, humble presence. When his turn came to speak with the monk, Daniel poured out his heart, explaining how the people around him constantly discouraged him, belittling his dreams and eroding his confidence. The monk listened intently, his calm expression never wavering, and then, with a gentle smile, began to share his wisdom. He told Daniel that many people face negativity from others, often due to jealousy or insecurity. However, he explained, inner peace and resilience are cultivated by learning to respond mindfully rather than reacting emotionally. This interaction marked a turning point for Daniel. With the monk's guidance, he began to see a new path forward, one where he could let go of others' opinions and focus on his journey with renewed strength and purpose. As Daniel sat quietly before the wise monk, he listened carefully to each piece of advice. The monk, speaking gently but firmly, explained 3 essential lessons that would help Daniel build inner strength, maintain his peace, and protect himself from the harmful influence of toxic people. Here's a deeper look at each of these transformative lessons. Lesson 1. Don't give attention to negativity. The monk's first piece of advice to Daniel was simple but powerful. Don't give your attention to negativity. He explained that focusing on toxic people and their criticisms only allows them to take up valuable mental space and energy. The more we dwell on others' negative words or actions, the more we allow them to influence our thoughts and emotions. By consciously redirecting our attention, we take back control and shield ourselves from their harmful impact. Imagine that your attention is like sunlight, something that fuels whatever it shines on. If you give sunlight to a flower, it will grow, but if you focus that sunlight on weeds, they will grow instead. The monk's wisdom here is to remind Daniel that his attention should go toward things that help him thrive, not things that weigh him down. Why it's difficult to ignore negativity. It's natural to want to respond to or defend ourselves against criticism, especially when it comes from those close to us. We may feel that by reacting, we can change others' perceptions or protect ourselves from harm. However, giving attention to negativity often has the opposite effect. It reinforces the negativity, pulling us into a cycle of reaction that benefits no one. Each response we give to a toxic person fuels their influence over us, strengthening the impact they have on our mood and focus. Practical ways to shift your attention. For many of us, learning to avoid giving attention to negativity requires practice. Here are a few strategies to help cultivate this habit. Set clear goals and focus on them. One way to avoid distractions is to stay committed to your personal goals. When you are fully invested in your purpose, it's easier to ignore voices that try to pull you away. Make a list of the things that matter to you, whether that's advancing in your career, working on a creative project, or improving your health. Each time you encounter negativity, remind yourself that these goals deserve your focus far more than the opinions of others. Limit exposure to negative people. If possible, reduce your time around people who bring negativity. This might mean spending less time with certain friends or choosing not to engage in specific conversations. Distancing yourself doesn't mean you dislike these people. It means you're choosing to protect your peace. Practice mindful redirection. When you catch yourself dwelling on negative thoughts or comments, take a deep breath and redirect your mind to something positive or productive. For example, you might think of a recent achievement, a future goal, or even practice gratitude for what you've accomplished. This simple shift can help reinforce a positive mindset. Visualize a mental shield. Some people find it helpful to imagine a protective shield around their mind. Picture negativity bouncing off this shield, leaving you unaffected. This mental exercise can remind you that others' words only have power if you let them in. By refusing to give attention to negativity, we regain control of our emotional well-being. This lesson doesn't mean avoiding all conflict or ignoring every critique. Rather, it's about learning to filter what we let in. We all have limited energy each day, and that energy is best spent on things that nourish us and contribute to our growth. In learning to apply this lesson, Daniel could now channel his energy into his dreams and goals instead of wasting it on those who sought to bring him down. By focusing only on what truly mattered, he built resilience, one step closer to fulfilling his potential without the weight of others' negativity. Lesson 2: The power of silence and non-response. The monk's second lesson for Daniel emphasized the remarkable power of silence. He explained that toxic people often seek a reaction. They thrive on provoking others and gain satisfaction from witnessing emotional responses. By choosing silence instead of engaging, Daniel could protect his peace and communicate strength in a subtle yet powerful way. The monk wanted Daniel to understand that silence isn't about passive avoidance. It's a deliberate decision to withhold power from negativity. Why silence is so effective. When we respond to negativity, we give it life, allowing it to grow and take up more space in our minds. Silence, on the other hand, denies toxic people the fuel they need to continue their harmful behavior. When people are met with silence, it unsettles them, revealing that their words have no impact. This lack of reaction often discourages them from persisting, showing that we refuse to validate or participate in their negativity. Silence also signals emotional maturity and self-control. It demonstrates that we're confident enough to stay grounded, no matter what others say. In a way, silence can be more powerful than any response, as it shows that we are not easily provoked or influenced by others' behavior. Examples of using silence as a response. Consider a workplace situation where a colleague constantly criticizes your work in a condescending way. Instead of arguing or defending yourself, maintaining silence can show that their comments don't faze you. Silence communicates that their opinion isn't valuable enough to merit a response, subtly shifting the power dynamic in your favor. Another example is dealing with a friend or family member who brings up past mistakes in a hurtful way. Rather than engaging in an argument or trying to explain yourself, staying silent can disarm the other person, sending the message that you're unbothered by their attempt to trigger you. Practical ways to master silence and non-response. Learning to use silence effectively requires practice and mindfulness. Here are some strategies to help you integrate this lesson into daily life. Pause and breathe. Before reacting to negativity, pause and take a deep breath. This small moment allows you to check your emotions and make a conscious choice about whether responding will add value. If the answer is no, silence may be the best response. Use nonverbal cues. Silence doesn't mean complete inaction. A calm smile, neutral eye contact, or a gentle nod can all convey confidence without giving the other person the reaction they may be seeking. Nonverbal cues can show that you're listening but unbothered, maintaining control over the interaction. Practice mindful disengagement. When negativity is directed at you, mentally remind yourself that you're in control of your emotions. Visualize yourself as an observer, watching the interaction from a distance. This practice helps you remain detached, reducing the urge to react. Redirect your focus. After the interaction, shift your attention to something productive or uplifting. This might be a project you're passionate about or a quick mental exercise of gratitude. Reclaiming your focus reinforces your resilience. Many people feel compelled to defend themselves when faced with criticism or negativity. However, true inner strength often lies in the ability to remain silent and unresponsive. By practicing non-response, we set clear boundaries, demonstrating that our peace isn't up for grabs. This habit is empowering, allowing us to conserve energy and maintain a calm state of mind even in challenging situations. For Daniel, this lesson helped him realize that silence could be a powerful shield. Instead of engaging with toxic people who sought to pull him down, he could let his silence speak for him, communicating his resilience and self-assuredness without uttering a word. In mastering this practice, he began to experience a newfound sense of peace, free from the emotional disturbances others had once caused. Lesson 3. Surround yourself with positive influences. The monk's final lesson for Daniel was both practical and transformative. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, rather than those who bring you down. The monk explained that our social environment profoundly impacts our emotions, thoughts, and even our potential for growth. When we choose to keep the company of positive, encouraging people, we create a nurturing space where we feel valued and motivated to pursue our dreams. Toxic people often project their insecurities and frustrations onto others, which can drain our energy and harm our self-esteem over time. However, by consciously surrounding ourselves with those who inspire us, we receive a steady flow of encouragement and optimism. This positive reinforcement makes it easier to handle challenges, stay focused on goals, and maintain emotional resilience. The power of a positive social circle. Spending time with people who genuinely support our growth builds a foundation of self-confidence and peace. Positive influences are like a mirror. They reflect back our best qualities and remind us of our potential. In contrast, negative people highlight our perceived weaknesses and feed our self-doubt. Building a supportive social circle allows us to move through life with greater ease and clarity, free from the doubts and negativity imposed by others. When we invest in relationships that bring us joy and encouragement, we naturally start adopting the mindset of those around us. Just as negativity is contagious, so too is positivity. By nurturing positive relationships, we foster an environment that promotes happiness and personal growth, both for ourselves and for others. Practical steps to surround yourself with positive influences. Building a supportive network requires intentionality and courage. Here are some practical steps to help you strengthen positive connections in your life. Evaluate your current relationships. Take time to reflect on the people you spend the most time with. Do they encourage you, support your goals, and celebrate your achievements? Or do they often criticize, doubt, or drain you? This reflection can help you decide which relationships to nurture and which may need some distance. Seek like-minded communities. Look for groups, clubs, or online communities aligned with your values or interests. These spaces often attract individuals who share similar goals and passions, making it easier to find positive influences. For example, if you're passionate about personal development, joining a local book club or meditation group could connect you with others on a similar journey. Set boundaries with toxic people. Sometimes we can't completely avoid negative people, especially if they're family members or colleagues. In these cases, setting firm boundaries is essential. Limit the time and energy you invest in these relationships and avoid discussing sensitive topics that might lead to criticism or conflict. Boundaries protect your peace and make it easier to focus on the people who truly support you. Prioritize quality over quantity. Having a few close, positive friends is often more fulfilling than a large group of acquaintances. Focus on cultivating deep, meaningful relationships with those who uplift and inspire you. These quality relationships serve as a solid support system, helping you through tough times and celebrating your successes. We often underestimate the impact of our social circle on our mental and emotional health. By surrounding ourselves with positive influences, we create a protective buffer against negativity. This doesn't mean we'll never face challenges, but it does mean we'll have people who encourage and guide us through them. A positive circle reminds us of our worth, helps us stay motivated, and contributes to a healthier outlook on life. For Daniel, this lesson from the monk was particularly meaningful. Realizing that he had the power to choose his influences, he began prioritizing time with friends who supported his dreams and limited his interactions with those who did not. Gradually, he found himself feeling lighter, more confident, and more focused on his goals. With each positive influence, Daniel felt his inner strength grow, allowing him to pursue his aspirations free from the weight of others' negativity. Applying these lessons in daily life. The monk's teachings on handling toxic people aren't just philosophical ideas, they're practical strategies that anyone can apply in everyday life to build inner peace, resilience, and positivity. To incorporate these lessons, focusing away from negativity, practicing silence and non-response, and surrounding ourselves with positive influences, requires small, consistent actions. Here's how you can start making these principles a part of your routine. 1. Begin each day with intentions and affirmations. Starting the day with clarity about what you want to achieve sets a powerful foundation. Begin each morning by setting intentions that align with your goals and values. For example, you might decide, today I will focus on my own growth and not give energy to negativity. Couple this with affirmations like, I am worthy of positivity and support, or I have the strength to focus on what truly matters. By grounding yourself in these statements, you cultivate a mindset that naturally repels negativity and draws in resilience. 2. Use a pause and redirect technique. Throughout the day, we often encounter situations where negative people or thoughts creep in. The pause and redirect technique helps to manage this. When you feel triggered or upset by something someone has said, pause, take a deep breath, and mentally ask yourself, is responding worth my energy? If not, practice redirection by shifting your attention to something productive or uplifting, like recalling your goals or a recent success. This technique allows you to keep control over your reactions and focus only on the things that contribute to your growth. 3. Make a positivity inventory of your relationships. Our relationships significantly impact our daily experiences, so regularly evaluating them is essential. Create a positivity inventory by listing the people you interact with regularly and noting whether they tend to uplift or drain you. This reflection can help you make conscious choices about who you spend the most time with. Aim to foster relationships that bring you joy and inspiration, and gradually limit time with those who contribute to stress or self-doubt. 4. Practice setting boundaries with compassion. Setting boundaries with toxic people is often necessary but can feel challenging, especially with close family or colleagues. Approach boundary setting with compassion, communicating your needs gently but firmly. For instance, if a friend often brings up negative topics, you could say, "I appreciate you, but I'm focusing on positive things right now. Let's keep our conversations uplifting." This approach protects your peace without creating unnecessary conflict, allowing you to cultivate healthier relationships. 5. Surround yourself with positive content. If you don't always have access to supportive people, surrounding yourself with positive content can also be effective. Listen to podcasts, read books, or follow online communities that inspire and encourage you. Positive content reinforces a mindset of resilience and optimism, making it easier to stay motivated and focused despite external negativity. 6. End the day with reflection and gratitude. As the day winds down, take a few moments to reflect on how you handled challenging interactions or thoughts. Did you manage to keep your focus away from negativity? Were you able to practice silence and non-response? Did you spend time with supportive people or uplifting content? A quick evening reflection reinforces your efforts and helps you identify areas for improvement. End by noting a few things you're grateful for, whether it's supportive friends, personal achievements, or even small acts of kindness. Gratitude keeps your mind centered on the positives, reinforcing the lessons of resilience and inner peace. Applying these teachings daily doesn't mean you'll never encounter toxic people or negative thoughts again. Instead, it empowers you to respond differently, allowing you to grow despite these challenges. With time, these small, intentional actions will become habits that protect your peace and fuel your growth. Daniel found that these practices brought a calm and clarity he hadn't felt before, helping him stay true to himself and focused on his journey, no matter who or what came his way. The monk's advice to Daniel wasn't about avoiding all conflict, but about building the inner strength to remain unaffected by others' negativity. Toxic people may come and go, but we have the power to decide how much they impact our lives. By choosing where to direct our attention, practicing silence, and surrounding ourselves with positivity, we create a life filled with purpose, resilience, and peace. These lessons aren't just for Daniel. They're universal truths that can help anyone striving to live a fulfilling, peaceful life. Embrace these teachings as steps toward protecting your well-being and nurturing the relationships that truly matter. Remember, your energy is valuable. Spend it on those who deserve it and reserve your peace for yourself.